Alright, I've designed a bushing on Tinkercad, and there you have it, that bushing. Very simple little CADed bushing, and it is currently printing on the printer. You can see it down inside there. I'm printing it in a wood material. It's called Easy Wood, coconut color, and it has a texture. Actually, it has a texture of the exterior of a coconut. So that's what we're printing the bushing in. So now I'm going to show you a couple of other things on the radio that I failed to mention just a moment ago, or on the record player electronics. Okay, back to the electronics. I failed to mention that the audio section of the amplifier is run with two tubes, a 12AT6 and a 50C5. The 12AT6 is a preamp, so the tone arm, here, there's the needle, the cartridge, sends a very small signal through that little phono jack, which is plugged in right here. It comes into the circuit, and the preamp, the 12AT6 tube, preamplifies the signal and sends it to the audio amplifier, which is the 50C5. So all there is two tubes. And you've got a speaker plugged in here, and the motor is plugged in here for the turntable. But there's a third wire for the motor, which you don't see all that often. And that third wire is a tap off of the windings of the motor, which forms a transformer. So the windings, these are thousands of feet of wire, real fine wire, turn into a transformer that makes the motor turn. But there's a third wire, and I don't know that you can see it in the dim light here. Let's see if I can get, there we go. The third red wire on the motor is actually what they call a tap, or connection off of the transformer, and it sends 12 volts back up to power these tubes, filaments of the tubes. So the tube filaments are 12 volts AC off of this transformer. But everything else, all the rest of the electronics, are controlled in DC by this, what we now call a diode, but it's a selenium rectifier. The diodes weren't, the solid state diode, which are still used today in electronics, weren't created until 1959. And the only reason I remember that little factoid is because I was born in '59. So this obviously is a precursor to the diode. And so it was probably invented in the early 50s. And here we see it in an antique electronic amplifier, audio amplifier. And one more thing that I failed to mention about the speaker. Not only did they mount a larger speaker, so they couldn't mount it on the side because it's too big, so it would stick up here like this. But this box is a little resonant chamber, which increased the bass response on speakers. And sometimes you would see this design. They would build a box around the speaker before they sent the sound out to the side of the cabinet, whether it was a radio or an amplifier or a record player. And this increased the bass response. It's loosely based on the design of the Bose speaker system, which you all are familiar with. And the Bose speaker system, if you've ever seen it, the inside of the cabinet looks like a snake tube that weaves around inside the cabinet, and that tube increases the fidelity of the sound incredibly so. And so this is a very crude version of just increasing the resonance of the speaker, improving the performance of the speaker, the sound that comes out. So, all right, let me go back to the printer and we'll see how it's doing. You can just barely see it. I'm printing it in wood material to make it, there it is, coconut colored wood material. And this material, you can't tell from this poor quality video, but this material is wood product, and it'll blend in to the record player a lot better than printing a bright orange or bright yellow bushing. Printer is nearly finished with the bushing. We'll just wait a minute here. Alright, let's see if we can just pop it off the print bed here without ruining it. Oh, it's still a little soft. We need to let it cool. Yeah, this is 60 degrees centigrade, so it's pretty hot, almost too hot to touch. So we'll let it cool down a little bit, and we'll pop it off and assemble it on the tone arm. Here's the printed bushing, and you can see it's kind of a wood color. Looks great on this. It even looks a little retro. It looks like something they would have used back in the early 50s. Precision is important, and sometimes if you're too exact, it doesn't fit. And in this case, this bushing fits beautifully in its place. However, the inside diameter is too small for the shaft of the tone arm, so I'm printing another one. You can hear it in the background, and it'll take just 10 minutes to print that, and we'll try again.